This is Daniel Giamario, and this is the opportunity to be able to share with you about the release of Course 4, the long-awaited Course 4, Navigating the Night Sky, that had previously been known as the Cosmology course. And I want to share with you about how this fits into our overall certification program. We have a level 1 and we have a level 2. Level 1, which are the 3 foundational courses, and they've been out there now for a while. We've been putting together this course 4 over the last few months, and it's finally complete, and we'll be making it available here shortly, and the first classes will drop in July. The thing about the level 2 in the certification program is that it totally is involved with the real kernel, the heart, the soul of this school, which is the connection between the astrology and the night sky experience, the cosmology. Course 5, which will come later in the year, is regarding the synodic cycles of the inner planets, including the moon. So what I'm sharing here in this video is that it's going to happen, and you have an opportunity to get involved with this. And it has actually been my great pleasure to have had the opportunity to do this class with probably the most ideal person I could have ever imagined to do it together with, which is Gemini Brett. So that I'd like you to meet our other teacher for this class.
Greetings, friends. Yeah, it has been an absolute honor to be invited to share. I've been learning from Daniel Giamario since 2012 when my old world ended and my new world began. And much thanks to you and to astrology, who just came in very quickly for me at that time. And I've always felt so grateful to have begun my study with Daniel and with a school that has such an interest in and an imperative in having a living sky experience to celebrate the marriage of heaven and earth. And it's been a great treat. I mean, just a joy. We've had a lot of fun creating these videos. I'm currently in the editing process for a lot of them, so I'm getting to review a bunch of the laughs and so much new information I got to learn from you just here teaching this class together. So it's a treat.
Well, I would have to say here that ever since I started this work in different iterations of the school back in the 1980s, and the feeling and the vision I had for how to combine astrology and astronomy, I don't know anyone who's more created their life around living that experience. And most of you who have followed our school know that Gemini Brett has his own school, which is designed to teach astrologers astronomy, sacred astronomy. And so therefore, that's why it's a real perfect match for us to be able doing this certification level course in the Turning of the Ages Mystery School at this time period. And what we wanted to do at this time period in this promo and video here for you all is to give some samples of what it is you will be learning in our course. Way back in the 1980s, we started noticing that the bow and arrow of the archer was pretty much exactly aimed at the galactic center itself. In some of the work of Violette, he actually was able to determine that the exact arrow was the arrow was exactly pointed at the galactic center about 12,000 BC. Interesting. So it's actually moved a little bit since that point, but it's still, wow, it's still like the bow and arrow is marking the spot. And then meanwhile, you can see how the scorpion is also configured there, where in a way the stinger is, you could look at it in a way that is pointing at the galactic center.
I use blue to show the rotational plane. So that's the equator, the celestial equator. As you can see in this particular image, I've oriented it to the plane of the secondary motion, the ecliptic. And here, instead of just yellow for the sun, I'm showing the rainbow colors of the tropical zodiac signs. Inside, you can see the glyphs describing the cusps of the cardinal signs, which, as I showed you in lesson 3, are aligned to Earth's cardinal directions, right? And so here we see the tilt, Earth leaning North Pole towards the right. And as we learned before, Earth's North Pole always leans towards the northernmost point of the ecliptic plane, which is 0 degrees tropical Cancer, right? All right, so now we're going to get into the green stuff, the third motion. All right, so this is called axial precession. A precession means like a backwards motion, right? Like a funeral procession is marching forward. A precession is like going backward.
He was using new research that combined what is called the obliquity of the ecliptic, which is essentially the oscillation of the 23, and right now it's 23 and a half, 23.27 degrees from the celestial equator. But it oscillates over the course of 41,000 years. And actually, it was most extreme. The obliquity was at its greatest about 9,800 years ago. So actually it's been decreasing. And then in about 11,000 years from now, it'll be at the least, and then it'll go back to the maximum again. What it is we're wanting to illustrate here, though, is the importance of these areas at the two cosmic crosses. This is one of the cosmic cross area, and you can see the constellational circle around this galactic edge. I've often actually found it extremely interesting that virtually every star that has ever shown up in any human origin myth is in that area. We have, for example, the belt of Orion in that area. We have Sirius in that area as one of the stars that is in the circle. We have the Pleiades, according to the way the sacred hoop traditions of Lakota were, Rigel and Sirius and Procyon, and then it would be the Gemini twins above there. And then it goes across over to Capella. In a later class, we're going to be going more into the mythic stories that have been projected onto these areas of the sky, the stories of the Golden Gate and the Silver Gate, and more of the star stories about the origins, maybe human origins and that kind of thing, about how different parts of the world will reference more Sirius and others will do the Pleiades. But those stories are all projected on the actual scaffolding or the bones of the actual structure of the sky that we human beings on the surface of this earth see with our senses. All right, hopefully that will be wonderful little tastes of what 22 classes in this course will be like.
Just a taste indeed. Daniel, I'm sure you noticed that those clips were only from the first few lessons we recorded for the course. That's how far along I currently am in the illustrating, animating, and editing process. And some of my contributions like this are actually waiting for the world to spin. I've been taking a photograph of the sun setting every 10 days, or really rather every 10 degrees, for my contributions to our hierophany class and how to keep a horizon calendar. I just took this photo of the sun setting at 20 Gemini last night, and the next photo will be of the solstice. The solstice sun sets between the eucalyptus trees. So I'm excited to share like real-time astronomy with you. If you were with Daniel or me in person outside, we would be working with laser pointers like this to teach you stars like Aldebaran, the face of the bull, and the horns. And I'm going to be creating, when this course launches in July, backyard astronomy videos like this, where though we can't be side by side, I will actually be able to contribute videos from present time as you're moving along the course to help you connect with the sky in real living sky images, not just astronomy software images like this. But these are also great, especially with some adaptations. Like here, I've added color coding for the elements of the tropical signs, and this is part of what I've created for our How to See Your Chart in the Sky class. But it's also going to be a document that you will receive when you enter the class that will help you when you're outside at night learn to meet the stars, the naked eye stars, even in light polluted skies like mine. I live in the Bay Area of California, and to map the zodiac degrees. There's so many wonderful astronomy apps, but none of them will tell you where the stars are in the tropical zodiac that we're working with. And it can just be so helpful to know so you can learn to see more of the chart in the sky and therefore bring more of the sky into the chart.
One other thing I want to mention, which is one of the core purposes of this class that fits into pretty much the foundational philosophy of our school, is to how to get a sense of how the constellations and the signs operate with each other. Over the course of 26,000 years, every constellation has an opportunity to be aligned with every tropical sign. And to get, it's not the easiest thing to get, which is another one of the reasons why we're doing this class on this level, so you can really tune into that, because the whole issue of what happens at a great turning of the ages um, is foundationally on that. And to be able to see how those two things integrate with each other over time. So that's another key feature of the class. And actually, so there's so many other factors here, but that's why you need to take the class. All right. Our intent here with this is to be putting out maybe 2, 3 different classes every couple weeks. We're going to do it at the point of a new moon and a full moon and a new moon and a full moon. And it will be around July 5th that we'll actually start this, where people can start taking the classes. And over a period of time, you're going to be able to see more detailed information. It's not on this video where you're signing up or seeing the exact dates, but we wanted to let you know it's almost here, it's coming. And it's our excitement actually to be able to say, wow, it's put a lot of work into this. We had a great deal of fun with it, and it's happening now, finally. We're really happy that we got to do this together.
Daniel, it's fair to say that this is actually the course in the curriculum where you really engage with the mysteries behind the turning of the ages, right? So the turning of the ages mystery school, it really comes here. I mean, this is an astrological paradigm, and you're learning that in other courses along the way, but this is the framework of the turning of the ages. And as Daniel said, it gets a bit technical, so illustrations, animations help. But please know, and this is one thing that I really love about this course, I've taught astronomy for astrologers and these mysteries for years now, but never with Oh, the Wizard, where we get to hear so many wonderful stories about the origins of this tradition, where it came from. And also, one thing I love so much about your work, Daniel, is that you're always looking forward to seeing how it will expand, seeing how it's changing, tracking the long cycles and tuning into how the ages are turning. So yeah, friends, come on in. You're gonna love this course. You're gonna have a really fun time in these mysteries.
And I must say that most of these insights, most of these transmissions that go into this work came from actually being at sites and having magical, mystical experiences at different sites and getting direct transmissions from the constellations, from the stars, from the seasons and in the cycles that you can directly experience with your senses. And that this is a school that is about direct experience with our senses onto the night sky and with the changing of the seasons and all the rest of the cosmology. Navigating the night sky, and join us.